On this episode of Off the Script Extra, a video that has been heavily requested by many who listen to this podcast, Omega, Okada, Dominion, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, 60 minutes. Was it better than their match at Wrestle Kingdom 11? And what did I think of this classic? We're going to discuss everything right here on Off the Script.
Fill your glasses up and put your headphones in, because it's time for Off the Script. And all you fucking goons and assholes, get in line and hit subscribe, because it's time for Off the Script. Hit the like button and share it around. You can even pull your fucking pants down, because it's time for Off the Script with JD from New York 206, because it's time for Off the Script, because it's time for Off the Script.
Now, a lot of people that watch this channel and watch this podcast, listen to this podcast, understand that this is primarily a WWE channel. News and rumors, previews, predictions, reviews. I do not review New Japan. I do not review Ring of Honor. I do not review Impact Wrestling. I don't review any other independent promotion that is out there. Only the WWE. I should be, but I don't. I do Lucha. I do NXT. I do whatever WWE does overseas with the United Kingdom. I just primarily stick to what I have access to. Now, the first time around with New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom, everybody went out of their way to tell me, JD, you have to watch this match. You have to watch this match. You have to review this match. I want to understand your thought process and what you thought about Omega Okada 1 at Wrestle Kingdom in January. I did. One of the most successful reviews I have ever done on my channel. And you guys came to me again. JD, did you see Dominion? Did you see Okada Omega 2? Yes, I seen it. Twice. I watched it the night of on Daily Motion. And then I watched it again because it's all over YouTube now. So I watched it twice. And I watched it the second time this morning before I actually did this review. Because I wanted to watch it again merely to admire what was going on. The first time I watched it, I took 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes here. The second time around, I wanted to just enjoy it and watch these two guys wrestle. That's what I wanted to do. So I got two different perspectives. I got one from the reviewer, my job, and I got a different perspective from just watching two fucking guys who are probably the best in the world at what they do. And I can't wait to talk about this because a lot of people are very indifferent about, was it better than the first? Some people are saying yes. Some people are saying no. I was one of those people that went into this thinking that they would not be able to top what they did at Wrestle Kingdom 11. After the first viewing, I'm like, I don't think this is better than the first match. I don't think this is better than Wrestle Kingdom 11. The second time I watched it, and I looked at everything that went into that last 10 minutes, I'm like, you know what? I think what they did at Dominion is better than what they did at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Not by much, but enough. And we're going to talk about it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows here. There are a few concerns of mine that I have. Now, you might say that I'm nitpicking and I shouldn't really, be those types of people. who just fucking grab at something just to be negative for the sake of being negative, but I see things differently than a lot of people see things. I am a wrestling fan. I understand the psychology, and I understand the storyline that goes into a good match. Things that I noticed, you know, really didn't add up to me during the last 10 minutes of this match. Some things that Okada did in this match, or the storyline that was planned out here, really didn't add up for me, and I got quite frustrated with certain aspects of this match. We're going to talk about all that. I took extensive notes here. But I will say this. These two guys absolutely beat the living fuck out of one another. How either one of those men was standing at the end of this thing is a testament in itself. And you have to give credit where credit is due, man. Okada, fucking phenomenal. I don't watch New Japan. I watched 2 matches of this guy. Both have been with Omega. Fucking fantastic. Omega, he made me a fan after fucking 1 match. To the point where I got fucking 4 t-shirts somewhere laying around here. You know? You guys seen them. But, unbelievable. Unbelievable fucking match. Easily is going to be, both of their matches, easily going to be in the top 10 best matches of 2017, especially on my list, you know. But at the end of it all, yes, it was better than their Wrestle Kingdom 11 match, no question. But we're going to go over all that. Can't wait to talk about this. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the channel as always. This is Off the Script Extra Omega Okada review. Some of you, if you have not seen the match, please go and do so. Please go and do so, man. After what we've seen with Monday Night Raw this week, my God, I would rather watch this match 3 fucking times, over and over and over again for 3 hours, than watch that shit we called Monday Night Raw. That fucking embarrassment that was Monday Night Raw. If you guys want to hear my rant on Monday Night Raw, it's live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Link will be in the annotation that you see within this video. Go and check it out and find out what everybody's talking about. Some people saying it's my best Raw review to date. So make sure you guys go and check that out. We are going to be talking about SmackDown Live. That is on tonight. So hopefully we have a better state of mind going into SmackDown. There's a lot of news going around. Braun Strowman is cleared to come back. I am pretty sure he's going to be interfering in Roman's State of the Address next week on Monday Night Raw, whatever the fuck he's going to be talking about. I'm sure Braun Strowman's going to poke his head and interfere in Roman's proceedings on Monday Night Raw next week. So we got that to look forward to, hopefully. Braun Strowman's coming back. We got news on Bray Wyatt and what everybody is now referencing her as Ho-Ho, JoJo, coming right on into Bray Wyatt's marriage and fucking shit up. So Bray Wyatt in the midst of a divorce and a affair with 24-year-old JoJo, who apparently now is the most hated woman in all of WWE. So we'll talk about that on Off the Script as well. Lots of stuff going on, but I wanted to get this Omega Okada review out of the way because it needs to be discussed, and I want to give you guys my opinion on everything. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are about to hit 79,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys subscribe down below and hit that bell for the notification so you guys know when I upload. Off the Script Retro, part number 2 or episode number 2 will be going up this week, towards the end of the week, for Patreons who are $3 or more and on the IRWNetwork. So make sure you guys are aware of what is going on. Off the Script Retro number 2, episode number 2, where we talk about WrestleMania 8. Because we already did the 1992 Royal Rumble. We're going to go in chronological order. Now, the next event after the Rumble, WrestleMania 8. We got Piper and Brett. We got Savage and Flair. We got Hogan and Sid. And all the news and rumors that went into that particular event. And we're going to go over how the landscape of WrestleMania 8 really changed because of political bullshit that happened going on into that event, and how the card looked drastically different compared to what the original ideas were supposed to be, man. We're going to talk about all that on Off the Script Retro. So if you guys want to hear any of that stuff, if you're interested in any of that stuff, patreon.com/JD206. $3 or more will get you Off the Script Retro on a weekly basis, as well as IRWNetwork. If you guys don't want to subscribe to the Patreon page and pledge to help the podcast out monthly, you guys can simply do so by going over to the IRW network as well. And not only hear Off the Script, but you guys can hear everything else that website provides you, man. So that's IRWNetwork.com. Audible is offering everybody 30 days free to try their service out with one free audiobook of your choice. audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys use my link, there's a little kickback to the show. Great way to support this very channel and this podcast. Over 180,000 books to choose from, and a lot of those are wrestling related. If you guys don't want anything wrestling related, you guys got a sea of books to choose from. Compatible with iPhone and Android devices. Fill out the appropriate information. Try the service out free for 30 days. And if you guys want to cancel before the 30 days is up, you get to keep your audiobook for free no matter what. That's audibletrial.com/offthescript. And you guys can purchase t-shirts as well, man. We are partnered with Barbershop Window and Pro Wrestling Tees. You guys can get one of these fine-looking t-shirts right here from the Barbershop Window online shop. That is barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. $19.99. They ship worldwide. 9 different designs for you on there, including the ever-popular JD is Negan t-shirt. So thank you to everybody that has purchased t-shirts this week in support of Off the Script. One final note here, House of Glory invited me to their school to interview the longest reigning current world champion for House of Glory, Mr. Anthony Gangone. You guys will see that interview this coming Friday on Off the Script. Anthony Gangone, one-on-one with JD, asking him the hard questions and setting up a huge match this coming July 1st with Crown Jewel champion Lio Rush, man. So check that out on Friday's episode of Off the Script. One-on-one with JD and his first guest, Anthony Gangone. You're going to see that live on Friday's episode of Off the Script. Thank you guys for everything. Let's get into this Omega Okada review. I love this match, man. It was fantastic. It was really fantastic. Omega looked fucking unbelievable. Okada looked unbelievable. I will say this about Kenny Omega. It wasn't the big, luxurious entrance that he got at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Didn't need to be. He came out shirtless. He had his hair pulled back in a ponytail. He looked fantastic. He was there with Nick and Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks. So they were there at ringside with him. Omega looked phenomenal. The one thing I will say about Okada, man, I got very frustrated with this match and Okada because I seen too much, you know, of a Reigns, Cena type character here with Okada, man. It was like Okada was like a fucking Terminator. You know, Kenny Omega, at certain points in this match, did shit that would level a fucking building. Never mind a human being. The knee strikes delivered by Omega in this match made me fucking cringe. I don't understand how Okada was able to get up after pretty much everything that Omega threw at him to merely throw a drop kick, and things were just reversed and thwarted by Okada. Now, I understand some of you have even told me before we went into this review that Okada has the best dropkick in the business, and clearly this match proved that. Clearly this match proved that. There was a part in this match where Okada had a missile dropkick on the outside, and Omega had this whiplash effect that flung him right into the steel barricade on the outside. I personally, Kevin Kelly even said it, I personally never seen a human being have that type of whiplash effect from a dropkick, man. You know? And I think what he said was, it's like being hit by a horse. Unfucking believable. And at every twist and turn, no matter if it was an attempt at a one-wing angel, no matter if it was one of them fucking float-over guillotine neck breakers, no matter if it was a dragon suplex, it was always a drop kick that came out of nowhere from Okada. It was like, what am I watching? Roman Reigns over here? Am I watching fucking Roman take a beating and just throw a Superman punch out of nowhere? I mean, give me a fucking break. You know? But the other thing that was frustrating for me was the fact that the story early on revolved around Okada's knee. He went for a dropkick attempt, and Kenny Omega held the ropes to pretty much avoid a dropkick. Okada went up for a dropkick, realized that Omega was holding on to the rope so he wasn't going to bounce off, and landed on his knee. From that moment, it was all about the knee. we got into 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. By the end of the match, the knee wasn't even an issue anymore. You know? Okada was limping. Okada was favoring the knee. Everything that he did was favoring the knee. He couldn't do certain moves because of the knee. Kenny Omega focused on the knee to the point where he threw him into the ring apron, threw him on top of the fucking medical table on the outside. Okada even fucking did an elbow drop off the top rope through one of them fucking tables that are used in New Japan. You know, those indestructible fucking tables with the reinforced fucking steel. You know, didn't even break. He drops an elbow drop off the top rope to the outside as Kenny Omega's laying on a fucking table. Nothing. After that, the knee wasn't an issue anymore. So those are the things that I'm nitpicking about. I shouldn't be nitpicking about it because it all plays into the greater story here. But if the knee was such a factor early on for Okada to the point where he couldn't do certain things and he had to switch it up to the other leg and shift power and come off the other leg, why wasn't that an issue towards the end of the match? I don't understand it. You know, those are the things that I see. Towards the end of this match as well, we got into the 50-minute mark. Now, if my history serves me correctly, and I did some research before I actually came on here and hit record, the last draw that we've had for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship was back in 2005. I don't know who it was with, but that's the time frame that I got from my notes. So when we got to 50 minutes, they already clipped their 46 minutes from Wrestle Kingdom. We got into the 50 minutes and everybody's fucking going crazy because it's either going to come down to the wire or this thing's going to go the time limit draw. One thing I do like about the time limit draw here in New Japan is that they give you fucking time cues. You know, they're letting you know and they're letting the fucking wrestlers know that, listen, you got 10 minutes. Like, listen, you got 5 minutes. Listen, you got 2 minutes. Listen, you got fucking 30 seconds. You better get your shit in right now. Go for a cover, hit a fucking move, try and end this thing. I like that aspect. But with this, they tried so desperately to outdo themselves from Wrestle Kingdom that it really just came off as blatant as to what they were trying to do here in the closing minutes of this match. You know, there was a knee shot, I believe at like 55 minutes here by Kenny Omega that sounded like literally a shotgun blast, you know, in my vicinity. It was so fucking loud. How Okada even stood up after that shit and delivered a drop kick. I don't know if you guys seen it. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. It was one of them fucking huge lifting knees where Okada was on his knees himself. Omega just ran at full steam, lifted his knee right into Okada's jaw, right? Okada's laying out. Omega doesn't even go for the fucking cover. And all of a sudden he gets back up and does a drop kick. And there goes that. There goes that. Okada did 2 tombstones in the closing sequence of this match. He did 1 tombstone regular. Then he does a fucking spinning tombstone. And you think he would go for the fucking cover? Of course not. Not one goddamn cover here. Not one cover from anything here by Okada in the closing minutes of this match. Now, I'm not going to zing them on that too much because these guys have just went through a fucking absolute battle and a war, and maybe he didn't have enough energy to make a cover. But listen, with your IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line, I mean, I would love to go through this and actually have a win over Kenny Omega, if this is the match that you're going to give us. Now, maybe he was taking the cheap way out. Maybe he was like, listen, I can't beat this guy. I threw every fucking thing at this guy, including the kitchen sink, and I can't put him away. I'm going to hit him with 2 tombstones. I'm going to leave him there, and I'm going to intentionally let the time run out because I can't fucking pin this guy. This guy's a fucking robot. He's literally the Terminator. So I'm not going to zing them too much on that. So I don't want to nitpick too much. Another thing I do want to make mention, and something that bothers me. If there is a match 3, which at this point I don't even know because number 1, I don't follow storylines in New Japan. And number 2, Cody Rhodes is probably going to have a lot to do with what happens going on into the fucking summer and fall here with New Japan, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But if there is a match 3, I'm gonna come out and blatantly say it here. There's no doubt in my mind, if there is a match 3, Okada is the underdog. He has to be the underdog. I fucking hate the Rainmaker. I fucking hate it. It's a move that has been overused so fucking much, and I've only watched 2 Okada matches. This one and the one in January. And I've seen more Rainmakers than I care to see ever again. So, if the Rainmaker is Okada's go-to finishing move, and I'm sure he has a plethora of things to finish you off with, but that's his go-to move. You know, if he's delivered the Rainmaker so many times and he can't put Kenny Omega away with it, what makes you think? What does New Japan think? And how are they going to transgress that to the viewer? How are they going to get that to the viewer? Why am I going to believe that anything this guy does outside of his finishing move, and then including his finishing move, how am I going to believe that that's going to finish off Kenny Omega? If the Rainmaker hasn't beat Kenny Omega yet, it's never going to beat Kenny Omega. That's just my way of seeing it. So the Rainmaker is garbage. They overused the Rainmaker. They did not protect the Rainmaker, because if they cared at all about giving us a huge moment here with the Rainmaker, it's not going to be. It's done. You're not beating Omega with the Rainmaker. Okay? You're going to have to find some other way to beat him. And at this point, I don't think anything's going to beat Kenny Omega. As far as I know, as far as I see it as the viewer, Okada got lucky at Wrestle Kingdom. He got lucky. In match 2, he got lucky because of the time limit draw. So going into match 3, Okada is already the underdog going into this, if there is a match 3. Some are saying there will be. Obviously, I will be watching it. The one thing I did like about this match is the fact that they continue to protect the one-winged angel. It was attempted about 3 or 4 different times in this match, and he did actually hit it once in this match. He hit it once. Once. He nailed it. But there was a beautiful sequence where Okada tried to fight out of it. Omega finally hooked it in and nailed it on him with a beautiful fucking pin. But Okada being 6'4" and 230, he reached the ropes with his long legs. And, you know, Kevin Kelly preached and told the story of the only reason why Okada is even still wrestling here after he had been applied in the one-winged angel is because of his leg length and his leg reach and his good ring awareness. Because if that wasn't the case, it was over. And Omega tried the one-winged angel again, and he didn't get it. So out of 2 matches, he only hit it once. He only hit it once. So they've been saying it, and right from the get-go, you know, the announce team was like, you know, it's gonna come down to if Kenny Omega can hit the one-winged angel, and if he hits it, it is over. At that point, it could have been over if it wasn't for the leg reach of Okada, which told a beautiful story in itself. So the one-winged angel is still very much protected, and if there is a third match, there's no doubt in my mind that Kenny Omega is winning by pinfall with the one-winged angel. He's not winning with anything else. It's going to be the one-winged angel or bust if there is a match 3. But other than that, it was a fucking all-out war. Unbelievable match. The closing sequence really sealed the deal for me, you know, in terms of it being better than the first match. That whole sequence, you know, just with the knees and then the Rainmakers and the tombstones, you know, it really came down to the wire, and everybody was just fucking flipping their shit, you know. And it was really that sequence, that 2-minute sequence that we seen, that really pushed me to say, you know what, this was better than their Wrestle Kingdom 11 match. Unbelievable fucking match, and if you guys haven't seen it, I urge you to go out and watch it. I've seen it twice, and I would actually sit down and watch it again. It's that damn good. So going over my notes here. Omega looked fantastic body-wise. He looked to be in the best shape of his career. Entrance was great. One thing I do like, and I don't watch enough New Japan to get a vibe of how they roll, you know, when there's big type matches here. But I love that there are, you know, cheerleaders on the outside. And by cheerleaders, I mean members of your faction. There, the Young Bucks. And even with the Bullet Club, they came out later on in the match, which we'll talk about here. And not one of them had the urge to interfere. You know, I like that Matt and Nick Jackson are there as, you know what, watch out, he's right behind you without getting involved. You know, when Okada was, you know, favoring the knee, they thought he could have really been hurt. They actually went over and checked on Okada. Respect for the champion, respect for the challenger, respect for the fucking match. You don't want it sullied or soiled in bullshit. You know, they're there as merely cheerleaders, and I like that. Giving him advice, telling him what he should do, what he has to do, what to look out for. Like a fucking a boxing coach or a boxing trainer. They're not going to interfere into the fucking match and knock the guy out on their own will. They're there as a support system, not to interfere in that match. I love that aspect, and I wish more fucking heads in WWE would realize that and instead of getting everybody fucking involved with a DQ or a count out or this or that, you know, it just ruins the overall match and it ruins the prestige of the championship. By the Young Bucks being there and the entire Bullet Club being there and not getting involved in anything shows you how much respect they have, not only for Okada and Omega, but for the fucking championship, you know? So I love that aspect. One Winged Angel was attempted early on. It was blocked by Okada, went for a Rainmaker right out of the gate. They tried both of their finishing moves within the first 3 minutes. So you knew what type of match this was going to be. It was going to come down to the One Winged Angel or bust. So that's what it was. The Rainmaker, I don't really care for anymore. To me, it's just another fucking clothesline. Absolutely no importance behind that move whatsoever. Because, like I said earlier, if Okada could not beat Kenny Omega with the Rainmaker after 2 matches here, he's not going to beat him with the Rainmaker ever. So that's just my opinion on that. Okada attempted a dropkick, and Omega held the ropes to avoid it. Knee became an issue. This is what I told you about. Knee became an issue for Okada as he jumped and landed awkwardly because Omega held on to the ropes to avoid that dropkick. That was the big storyline going into this match. Or from this point on into the rest of the match, which didn't really become all that much more important because, you know, he was favoring the knee, he was holding the knee, everything he did was for the knee, tried to avoid using pressure on that knee, and then all of a sudden he stopped limping, he stopped favoring the knee, he started doing everything just normal again, as if the knee wasn't an issue anymore. Kind of illogical to me and kind of frustrating to see that, but again, I don't want to be one of those guys to nitpick because the New Japan, you know, elitists will probably come on here and just fucking zing me, oh, this guy's an asshole because he pinpointed something like that. I'm a wrestling fan. I see these things transpire as I'm watching the match. Obviously, you've seen it too, but you're too fucking blind to say anything about it. Omega attempted a dive. Okada stopped. Instead, Okada dove and tweaked his knee on the senton that he did on the outside. And they showed a replay twice. He dove over the ropes with a tope, a senton dive over the ropes, and he hit his knee on the entrance ramp as he came down. That was another big thing that the announcers really paid attention to. Omega went right for the knee, springboard drop kick to the knee, figure 4 to Okada, suplex the knee onto the ring apron, suplex the knee onto the medical table on the outside. He was really going for the knee. So it was a big thing here, but later on into the match, it didn't become an issue. Okada took some stiff kicks from Omega and felt no pain. This was around like the 15-minute mark, I believe. He was like, what the fuck, you know? He was like just standing there as if Omega was throwing everything at him, and he was like, it was like waking him up. It's like you know, Okada was taking a beating, you know, figure 4, apron, and the medical table on the outside. It's like he was being woken up by all these shots, and nothing was affecting him at this point. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know, even that was, I understood it, but it was kind of frustrating to see that this guy's taking so much punishment, and he's like, you know, channeling his inner Undertaker here. I mean, give me a break, you know? But he started to fight off his good leg, and the announcers made that a story point in this match as well. Like the knee, the bad knee was too injured, so he had to work off the other knee. So, I appreciate it, but it was a little too much for me. Omega tried a springboard off the barricade. He stopped himself short after an Irish whip. He stopped himself short, jumped on top of the barricade, tried a springboard off the barricade, but he was shoved by Okada into a second barricade that was right in front of him, and he landed face first on top of that. Okada then dove onto Omega with a huge crossbody, full steam ahead, and he landed on the knee again. So the knee was a factor again, and the announcers made everyone aware of that. Okada off the top, missed a tombstone, reversed it 3 times, roll up for a near fall. I love that. Okada went for a tombstone, and it was reversed 3 different times. It went from Okada to Omega, back to Okada. He finally hit the tombstone. Roll up for a near fall. That was one of my favorite parts of the match. Omega, holy shit. A top rope springboard acai moonsault where he almost lost his fucking balance. It's amazing that Omega actually rebalanced himself mid-stride to hit such a picture-perfect acai moonsault, man. He was proud of himself after that. You could see that he corrected himself. He was going to fucking fall and bust his ass. Corrected himself, balanced himself. Beautiful acai moonsault off the top rope. Nailed it. There was a nasty top rope drop kick to Okada for a near fall. That sounded like a fucking shotgun blast on behalf of Kenny Omega. Holy shit. I mean, when these guys, and I say these guys beat the shit out of each other, they beat the shit out of each other. There was a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Picture perfect. Didn't get the job done. One-winged angel was attempted for a second time here. It was attempted in the beginning of the match. He attempted it for a second time here. Did not get it done. Blocked. Okada knew what to expect. Both men then started to trade blows. Blow for blow. It was literally a slugging contest. Who's going to fall first? We had 3 attempts at a dragon suplex on Okada, and Okada delivered a brutal Death Valley driver on the ring apron. How Kenny Omega was even standing to finish this match, just let alone after that move, is beyond me. Absolutely fucking devastating Death Valley driver on the ring apron that leveled Omega to the point where he rolled out to the outside and landed near a barricade. How he got up after that, I have no fucking idea. But like I said, these guys beat the shit out of each other, and I mean, they literally beat the shit out of each other. Okada with a missile dropkick to Omega with such force off the top rope that it had... Oh, actually, no, this was the Whiplash one. I'm sorry. There was another one there where Okada delivered another dropkick. It was dropkicks galore by Okada. But this was the missile dropkick to Omega that after that Death Valley driver, Omega was so fucking dazed. He didn't know where he was. He went around the ring, and Okada was like stalking him like he was stalking prey in the forest. Missile dropkick with such a whiplash effect that Omega went flying right into the barricade that he tried to springboard off of earlier in the match. Unfucking believable. Okada then grabs a table from underneath the ring, sets it up. Wasn't used immediately. They teased a powerbomb through the table. Omega teased a powerbomb. He couldn't lift Okada because of the exhaustion so far. Up until this point in the match, he couldn't do it. They teased a back body drop sequence just like they did in match 1. That was thwarted. So Omega stopped that, and the table was just left outside. Eventually, we had Omega do a superplex off the top here. Now, I don't know if this is a signature move by Omega. You guys can fill me in. But I think he did it to pretty much add more pressure to the already injured knee. He crossed Okada's legs in suplex position, like he was sitting, you know, like he was sitting with his leg up, you know, and he crossed his leg, and it was just a visually appealing suplex, man. It was like one of them fucking slow motion suplexes. It was like, oh my god, he crossed his legs and he fell back off the top rope. Everybody went fucking crazy. I never seen anything like that before. Now, I don't know if that's one of Kenny Omega's signature moves, or if it's something he did for this match to, you know, attack the knee again. But it was just visually appealing, man. It looked fantastic. So, we got that superplex. Omega tries to go for the V-trigger, misses, hits it the second time after a German suplex attempt by Okada. So there was a beautiful sequence where he goes for the V-trigger. It was blocked. Omega then was going to be put in a German suplex. That was reversed, and then he eventually hit the V-trigger on Okada. One-winged angel was blocked again for a third time. Rainmaker blocked by Omega, so we traded finishing moves back and forth again. Backslide by Omega. Okada rolls through. V-trigger blocked by Okada. So now we're starting to pick up the fucking pace here. Turns the block into a German suplex. So he blocked the V-trigger. He was on his knees. He blocked the incoming knee. He got up, turned it into a German suplex. ×2. Rainmaker. So you had 2 German suplexes and another Rainmaker to Omega. He kicks out. Like I said, if you're not going to beat Omega with a Rainmaker after this match, you're not beating Omega, period, with the Rainmaker. Omega turned a missile dropkick by Okada into a sit-out powerbomb. Absolutely one of the best visuals in this entire fucking 60 minutes. It was a dropkick, and Okada's dropkicks are fucking lethal as fuck. Omega jumped in air with Okada in air, in mid-dropkick, and he turned it into a fucking sit-out powerbomb. I never seen anything like that before in my entire life, man. Absolutely fucking amazing. Okada dropped Omega off the top rope, rolls to the outside, lays Omega on the table that was already set up before, where they teased that back body drop spot and a powerbomb spot. He lays Omega on the table. Drops an elbow drop off the top rope, does Okada, through the table. The table doesn't break. I don't know what type of fucking steel they're using over in Japan. The table cracked, but it might have hurt Okada more than it did Omega, because the table didn't break. The table did not break, man. They're not one of those prop tables, plastic tables. Those are fucking reinforced steel with fucking quadruple thick wood, man. Did not break. It broke the first match, and I'm surprised Kenny Omega was even fucking alive after that first match. But the elbow drop was a beautiful visual, but the table did not break. Drop kick, running drop kicks, ×3, 2 Rainmakers, no cover. Okada, drop kick after drop kick after drop kick, because Omega rolls into the ring. He's sitting up in the ring. He don't even have the energy to stand. And Okada goes off the ropes, drop kick, drop kick, drop kick. Another Rainmaker, and he kicks, and there's no cover. There's no cover. There's not even an attempt at a cover. So at this point, Cody Rhodes comes down with the rest of the fucking Bullet Club. He's trying to give us, he's trying to channel his inner Owen Hart here at the 1994 Survivor Series, where, he tried to get Martha Hart to throw in the towel against Bob Backlund, because Bob Backlund had the chicken wing applied to Bret Hart for like 15 minutes. So Cody Rhodes wanted to throw in the towel. The Young Bucks said no, and that was that. So I'm pretty sure that's going to play a factor into an upcoming storyline. Omega hits a V-trigger with a reverse Rana that would decapitate a normal human being. Oh, I put here, holy shit sequence, V-trigger near fall, 1 winged angel blocked, V-trigger again. How Okada was standing after this, I have no fucking idea. Then he finally hits the 1 winged angel. I put 1 winged angel, finally. Okada gets the foot on the bottom rope. And that's the only way he got out of the 1 winged angel. It's because of ring awareness and the length of his leg. Rainmaker turns Okada inside out. So another Rainmaker doesn't do anything to Omega. Snapdragons, V-triggers, tombstones, V-triggers with 5 minutes left. Is Okada human at this point? I don't know. There was even one sequence where Okada tried for another Rainmaker. He went for the entire clothesline motion, and Omega fainted, missed. He missed being hit with the Rainmaker due to exhaustion, and he fainted. Meanwhile, the motion of the Rainmaker had Okada miss it, and he went flying, and he went down. And it eventually ended in a 60-minute draw. Could not cover Omega. Both men were fucking completely exhausted at the end of this, and we still have unanswered questions here as far as what happens with Omega and Okada. Now, going into this, my opinion was I didn't think they were going to beat match 1. They did. My opinion going into this was being that New Japan is trying to expand into the United States, in California. I figured, you know what, there's no better representation than Kenny Omega, if that is the case, having Kenny Omega as the world champion, because obviously he speaks English and he speaks Japanese. So you got the best of both worlds there as New Japan enters the United States in California for the G1 tournament, I believe. So that didn't happen. Then we got the inclusion of Cody Rhodes here. Cody Rhodes wanted to throw in the towel. Now, if I'm Kenny Omega and I'm leading the Bullet Club and one of my guys is telling me, listen, I want to throw in the towel, I don't think you can beat this guy. I take offense to that. Clearly, Cody Rhodes doesn't believe Kenny Omega can beat Okada. So there's going to be some type of underlying storyline there. So I'm interested to see where that goes. At the end of this, with the press conference, Cody Rhodes confronted Okada and spit beer at him, challenging him in Long Beach for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Now, do I think Cody Rhodes is going to beat Okada? No. But what if? What if the storyline here leads to Cody Rhodes beating Okada and Kenny Omega getting so frustrated that he's kicked out of the Bullet Club and is made into a babyface? Possible. And we get Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. Or maybe Kenny Omega's never going to win the fucking title. Maybe New Japan is so set on not giving him the title because he only signed a 1-year deal, and they might have instincts of like, you know what, I don't think this guy's coming back next year, so why are we going to give him the world title? Maybe Okada is just going to hold the title and that's it. I don't know. And he gets kicked out of the Bullet Club. I have no idea. But the fact that Cody Rhodes is now challenging Okada is very interesting. They could go a few different ways here. And it's very interesting to me, man. Very, very interesting to me what is going to happen come Long Beach when New Japan enters California and the United States. I don't know what's going to happen with Kenny Omega. At this point, I don't know if there's going to be a match 3. I don't know if he's ever going to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I would have figured he would have did it here. But clearly, they tried to outdo match 1. They did. They wanted to add another element of intrigue to it with the Iron Man stipulation. They went all night long. They went Broadway. But it was not enough. Both men could not beat each other. Okada couldn't put Omega away. Omega couldn't put Okada away. We might have to just live with a draw. We might have to live with, you know what? We went through war and we can't beat each other. We can't beat each other. Maybe we get a 2 out of 3 falls match next time. I have no fucking idea. I just don't know. This is the great thing about wrestling. Simplicity is best. We got the inclusion of Cody Rhodes now challenging for something that Kenny Omega wants so desperately, going behind his back, kind of jumping over him. Like, listen, bro, I just went 60 minutes with this guy. I need another shot. You know? That's what I'm thinking if I'm Omega. And now Cody Rhodes is kind of interjecting himself in there like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? You know? So, it's going to get very interesting, but this match was fucking fantastic. I loved every fucking minute of it. I can't wait. If there is a match 3, I can't wait to see it. I'm very interested to see what Cody Rhodes does with Okada. I may actually review that fucking match if I can get my hands on it too. I'm getting very interested here in what's going on with the IWGP Championship. Not so much everything else because I'm fucking a complete noob. I'm completely blind to everything else. I'm sure you guys are going to tell me to go out and watch Tanahashi and fucking everybody else, you know, but it is what it is, man. I just wanted to come on here and talk about Kenny Omega and Okada. Fantastic fucking match. If the last one was a 6 stars by Meltzer, maybe this is a 7-star match. I have no fucking idea. I haven't listened to what Meltzer said about this show yet. I'm sure he's talked about it, but I'm going to be very interested to see his rating on this match. I think he might stir the pot again and give it 7 stars. Because if the first one was that great, and a lot of people are saying this one was better, it wouldn't doubt me that Meltzer gives this one a higher rating than he did Wrestle Kingdom 11. But those are my thoughts on Omega Okada. Let me know what you guys thought about it down below. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Off the Script Extra. I know it's something different. I know it's something that's not WWE, but there's a lot of people that listen to me that watch a lot of wrestling, man. And this was the biggest thing this week. Omega Okada in a fantastic 60-minute draw for the IWGP Championship. If you missed it, do yourselves a favor and go out and watch it. You will not be disappointed. Please wash your mouth out with that fucking miserable abomination that is Monday Night Raw. You will not regret it, man. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206 and hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll be back tonight with SmackDown Live. Hopefully it's a good show. And hopefully we have a positive attitude. Whereas on Monday Night Raw, it was nothing but seething anger and negativity, man. I am JD. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys later tonight for the review of SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you later.